Chaos erupted as the gunfire rang out, with the crowd shouting in panic. Video footage captured the terrifying moments as Trump took cover and a Secret Service sniper took down the assailant with a precise shot. Crooks had used a ladder to access a rooftop just 150 meters from Trump's stage, providing him a clear line of sight to the former president. The attempted assassination of former President Trump has brought to light several severe security breaches that have sparked widespread concern and demands for accountability. Each of these failures represents a critical lapse in the security measures and protocols that are expected to protect high-profile individuals at such events. The fact that a 20-year-old was able to infiltrate the rally's security perimeter so easily is a glaring failure for the Secret Service. Known for its stringent protocols, this breach underscores significant shortcomings in their perimeter security measures. The Secret Service typically establishes a robust security perimeter, often involving multiple layers of barriers and checkpoints. However, the ease with which crooks bypass these measures suggests either a failure in the implementation of these protocols or a severe underestimation of potential threats. Crooks managed to bring a semi-automatic rifle into the rally without detection, raising serious concerns about the effectiveness of security scans and checks. Such weapons should have been identified and intercepted long before reaching the event area. The Secret Service employs advanced technology and trained personnel to scan for weapons and other contraband. This failure indicates potential gaps in these detection systems or lapses in the vigilance of the security personnel responsible for these checks. Positioned on a rooftop just 150 meters from the stage, crooks went unnoticed by the Secret Service. This oversight points to severe lapses in surveillance and threat assessment, as rooftops with clear sight lines to the stage should have been under strict observation. The Secret Service's advanced teams are tasked with assessing all potential vantage points and securing them against threats. The failure to identify and monitor this rooftop is a stark indication of inadequate pre-event reconnaissance and surveillance. In addition to the gunman, a vehicle laden with explosives was found near the rally site. The detection of such a high-risk threat after the fact underscores critical flaws in the broader security sweep and intelligence-gathering processes. Vehicles in the vicinity of high-profile events are usually subject to thorough searches, often involving bomb-sniffing dogs and explosive detection devices. The presence of this vehicle suggests either a failure to conduct these searches properly or a significant intelligence oversight.
Take a look at what happened.
The gunman was only neutralized after injuring Trump. This delay in the Secret Service's response allowed the shooter to fire multiple rounds, endangering not only Trump, but also the rally attendees. The primary objective of the Secret Service is to prevent any harm to the protectee, and this delay is a significant failure. The response protocols of the Secret Service are designed to react swiftly to any threat. However, the time it took to neutralize crooks highlights potential deficiencies in communication, decision-making, and execution of the protective measures in place. In the aftermath of the shooting, the U.S. Secret Service is under intense scrutiny. Republican leaders have called for swift investigations, and President Joe Biden has ordered an independent review of the national security measures in place at the rally. While the Secret Service has since increased protective resources and capabilities, the incident has highlighted a need for a thorough examination of their protocols. Former Boca Raton Police Chief Andrew J. Scott III weighed in on the incident, expressing deep concern over the failures that allowed such an event to occur.
I would have expected that local law enforcement, at the direction of the Secret Service, would have been positioned on those rooftops. You allocate 1 to more likely 2 to 3 officers to take positions along that rooftop or that roof line. But that apparently wasn't done. The other aspect that we'll have to find out is obviously civilian witnesses observed this individual for, they're claiming, a couple of minutes, maybe more, of this individual crawling along the rooftop, so on and so forth. And they were pointing to that individual, but the law enforcement on the ground seemed to be either somewhat confused or not understanding the severity of what was being witnessed by the civilians.
Scott pointed out that civilian witnesses had noticed crooks crawling along the rooftop and tried to alert law enforcement officers on the ground. However, the officers appeared either confused or unaware of the gravity of the situation, resulting in a critical delay in response.
You have a high-level rally involving the former president of the United States, and you see an individual doing a army type of crawl, belly crawl, armed with a rifle. You're immediately at a level where use of deadly force would be warranted because you are sensing a threat, you are concerned for the safety of the former president, and nobody should be within that area armed, much less crawling on the rooftop of a tall building.
He emphasized that the sight of someone performing an army crawl with a rifle in such a high security area should have immediately triggered a deadly force response due to the apparent threat to the former president's life.
And normally what happens is that the Secret Service will send out a detail to do a site assessment of wherever the president may or may not be going. And the bottom line on that is, from that assessment, they also do security threat assessments. And so there's a combined effort within this plan that is done prior to the president even arriving on the scene, working with local officials as well as hospitals and or developing traffic routes to ensure that if an emergency occurs, how best to get the president to a local hospital. And all of this is pre-planned.
Scott highlighted the standard procedure of conducting detailed site and security threat assessments before such high-profile events, a process that should have identified and mitigated the risks presented by accessible rooftops and potential threats.
This individual was able to make an attack on the former president with limited capability, knowledge, and training. And that concerns me, because what if there was somebody that was really trained in how to assassinate someone? Would it have been accomplished? And that concerns me as to how somebody that, from the first blush now, I don't know very much about this individual, if anything at all, a novice versus a trained assassin, and he's able to get this close to a former president and within a millisecond almost kill him.
He expressed grave concern over the fact that crooks, with apparently limited training and capability, managed to get so close to Trump. Scott questioned what the outcome might have been if a more skilled and experienced assassin had been in Crook's place. The attempted assassination of former President Trump has exposed significant vulnerabilities in the Secret Service's protective measures. From the breach of the security perimeter to the delayed neutralization of the threat, these failures have triggered calls for accountability and a comprehensive overhaul of security protocols. The independent review ordered by President Biden is expected to provide critical insights and recommendations for enhancing security at high-profile events to prevent future mishaps.